We have been to many unique and interesting racetracks this season, but none of them more iconic than the one we are about to race here today. It is so iconic, in fact, that we are going to race here twice in the next 2 days. Only 3 races remain until we crown a champion officially at the Atlanta Motor Speedway 2 weeks from now. But standing in these drivers' way are 2 races at one of the biggest and baddest racetracks in America. It's the Talladega Superspeedway, and it's race 1 of the Gratton Industries Double Dega event this weekend. Let's see who gets it done here for 24 laps today and 24 laps tomorrow, both races awarding full points. It's the 13th race of the season here in the 2024 BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Talladega Superspeedway. We are here for the first of 2 races here at Talladega this weekend, and we could not be any more excited for this, especially considering where this runs in the season. With only 3 races left to go, we could leave this weekend crowning a champion in Drew Webb. However, nothing is set in stone here at Talladega, and any of these drivers can go to victory lane here in this 24-lap event. Just look at the Elimination Series race that we had on Tuesday. Those drivers were swapping the race lead multiple times. We had some blown engines. We had all sorts of stuff go wrong in that one for so many drivers. However, it ended up being a caution-free race, and that could be the case here today and also could be the case tomorrow as well. But nothing is set in stone here at Talladega, like I said. So, Eddie, I gotta ask you, what do these drivers need to do to get themselves in the top 10 in points, hold on to that position, and still have a shot at getting the Drew Webb in this championship?
I think he's just going to have to work with literally everyone. I mean, unfortunately for Drew Webb, he's walking in here with the biggest target on his back. I can't even remember when. He's got 23 drivers who are trying to get ahead of him. A couple drivers who are out now just trying to get a win. In reality, the best chance for people to climb into catching Drew Webb is to ensure that they know where Drew Webb is at all times. And for Drew Webb, I mean, it's simple. You win one race. You win one race and everything falls into line. You win the championship. You could walk into it tomorrow with the title around your waist. So in the end, he's just gonna have to fight. He's just gonna have to fight everyone, because I am sure that everyone wants to get by him. I'm sure everyone wants to know where he is, and especially for a couple of these guys in the front, everyone's just gonna want to watch him fall out of that top 10, so they can know they got the full points haul and, well, just got full points back into catching him for tomorrow and then the final race.
And of course, if Drew Webb leaves this race, not tomorrow, but this race here today, with a 51-point lead or higher, he has clinched the BodyArmor Pro Series Championship. So he could do it 2 races early here today if he wins this race. That's essentially what he has to do, is win this race. And for guys like Blaine Keys, Travis Crampton, Igor Barretto to not receive any championship points here today, which, guess what? That is very possible. The way this game likes to mess with me and likes to favor Drew Webb at sometimes. But then again, it's also done some things to Drew Webb that he would hope would never happen to anybody. I just remember that Michigan race from last year. But speaking of which, here are the points. This is how they line up coming into this one here today. It is a 26-point lead for Drew Webb on Blaine Keys, so a full race win worth of points. So no matter what, Drew Webb's going to be the points leader tomorrow as well. Travis Crampton had a solid run at Oregon a couple weeks ago. He is now 28 points behind. Igor Barretto is 35 points behind, and he starts on the pole for this race here today. And Nathan Stablin, 37 points behind, got his first top 10 since he won at Hillside last week at Oregon. He is still in contention as well, 37 points behind. Christian Masters, 38 behind. Trey Bartow is 39 behind. You got Turner and Rutkowski, 42 and 44 behind, respectively. Everyone from Dylan Matthews on up in the standings still mathematically has a chance at this championship. Everyone below Dylan Matthews, from Justin Zeidel on down, is mathematically eliminated. And we will mathematically eliminate some more drivers here today. We couldn't mathematically eliminate everybody except Drew Webb if things go a certain way. But We got to race it to see how it goes down. It's 24 laps here in Double Dega Race 1. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here from the Talladega Superspeedway. And Eddie, you picked Andrew Williams yesterday, I do believe, 2 days ago, I should say, to win the Elimination Series race. And he started dead last, so do you think Alonso Alonso's going to get it done, or who else are you jinxing here today at Talladega?
I'm gonna see if I can make it a weird 2-for-2 on jinxes, but in my mind, if there's anyone who's gonna be blitzing up to the front and just generally trying to keep what in the end is momentum, it's Matt Tuck. Because for that 79 to win here today, again, he won the Lumen Invitational in a Gratton car. He'd love to win at least one of these Gratton races, but he'd love to win anything at this point just to keep within 50 points of Drew Webb come the next race and then come to the final race. I mean, he's exactly 50 points back now, so a win and Drew Webb dropping out would mean he might be one of the only drivers within a race of Drew Webb going into tomorrow. So, in my mind, if there's anyone who's just gotten every motivation he needs to get to the front and take the checkered, it's that 79 Hers car.
And we'll have to see what he can do. Starting from the third position, like I said, it is Igor Bretto starting on the pole alongside Derek Hamill there in row 2. We got Matt Tuck and Dylan Matthews. Row 3 sees Logan Williams and Drew Webb. We got Jesse Turner and Nathan Stapleton rounding out row 4. Justin Zeidel and Travis Crampton rounding up the top 10. There's Tanner Parton, Christian Master, Caleb Rose, Ludovic Charette, Chase Harris. There's the man himself, Stuart Graham. This race is named after him. So, he expects to win both of these races here this weekend. Trey Bartow, Blaine Keys, Brad Stover, Thomas Troxel, Nicholas Samadeo, Reggie Fogelman, Joe Rakowski, and Alonso Alonso. That is the full field here. And this is going to be a very pivotal event. And we're going to focus a lot on Drew Webb because that 13, if he wins here today, and none of those guys top 5, top 10 in points finish top 10 in this race, it's over for the field. And Drew Webb is your champion, but this whole race can swap it all around. Blaine Keys could win today, and Drew Webb could go pointless. Could go any which way, but we got 24 laps to determine it, and Igor Bretto is going to start us off here for Double Dega Race 1 here on this Thursday afternoon. We're green flag racing here at Talladega. Not that it means anything in terms of the championship, but Igor Bretto was able to lead that first lap. That's a good sign for Bretto, trying to hold these drivers off. And of course, I think it goes without saying, we also have the restrictor plates off for this race, just like we did on Tuesday. This is the Pro Series. This is the BodyArmor Pro Series, to be exact. And, you know how we do it here. We play it old school, and what I mean by that is we do it how we used to do it for all the series on the channel. We take those restrictor plates off when they're rolling upwards at 230 miles per hour. But yeah, Derek Hamill now making a move to the inside of Igor Bretto, and these guys are going to run a lot different than they did on Tuesday evening in the Elimination Series race. These guys have a lot more downforce on these cars, and they just run so much closer to each other. And it's fascinating because both series run the same physics package, but the cars seem to run differently. I know there was that Cube mod that proved that wrong, but they race differently in these next gens, or should I say Gen 6 cars, than they do in the old Cup bodies. But I say that they got some single file racing going on. We saw a lot of that on Tuesday evening, and it's now Jesse Turner leading the field here in Double Dega Race 1.
You know, Turner's one of those guys. He's only 42 points back, so a win here, and with what looks to be Webb's just kind of stuck in that top lane, it's currently getting blocked by, of all people.
Ooh.
Oh, I spoke too soon. He went way down to get there. Now, fighting for 3 wide, but he only really got some help from Gratton. That's a bit interesting if you want to think about it, but regardless, Gratton anyway pulled up But Jesse, just gonna say it out here loud. Jesse Turner, I mean, a guy who could, similar to Tuck, really benefit from Webb not being in the top 10, and he's holding off Zidell, Parton, and Rose. The only guy who's realistically gotten inside is Chase Harris, and well, a couple of these guys in the front right now are kind of out of it in terms of just championship points. But anything can happen. And even though we saw some tandem racing on Tuesday, Thursday could just be maybe a little bit of just single file. And oh boy, Matt Tuck. Well,
there might be something wrong with that car. He has just fallen off, and that might actually be why we've got this pack split up the way we have it, because that 79 just doesn't quite seem to have the speed of the rest of these guys. That's a shame for Matt Tuck, who got the last win, and look at that. You know, saying all these guys are going to be racing right on each other. Well, they got more single file than we've seen here in a long time. But they don't stay that way for too long. How about Nicholas Samedeo? Now, this is a driver who has kind of struggled as of recently, at least in terms of the Pro Series, I should say. Only 4 top 10s this season. He did get the win in Dirt Extreme, but he's 55 points behind Drew Webb, and he only has 53 points so far this season. And we'd have to double his amount of points, at least, in 3 races in order to catch up to Drew Webb. And speaking of Drew, he is still top 10. Of course, he's in the 10th position right now, moving up to 9th. Not too many points there, but Blaine Keys right behind him in the 99. Travis Crampton is behind him outside the top 10. Igor Barreto is also outside the top 10 right now, and it's only Nathan Stapleton ahead of him, who is 37 points behind, who is in championship contention. But this is a much different race than I anticipated here for these guys here today. Of course, as well, we do have a warmer racetrack than we did on Tuesday. And I think that's allowing these guys to kind of just spread out a little bit. Not as much grip in these drivers here as what we saw early on. But how about Jesse Turner in the 82 holding on to this race lead? And look at these guys just all in a single file line here. It's been a while since a lot of these guys have raced an unrestricted race here at Talladega, and are just getting their feet wet here. And it looks like just a modern NASCAR Cup race here. They're just running single file. Or I don't know. Modern NASCAR Cup races are just stupid now. So you know, maybe not the best comparison. We still got racing going on here, and Nicholas Samedeo battling there with Stapleton and Drew Webb on that inside. But Stuart Gratton's here as well. Gratton's out of championship contention. He can't win it. He's going to go all out for these 2 wins because these races are named after him. You know, we have this whole joke with Gratton Industries, Gratton Autosport being such a big deal, and in theory, this is Gratton Autosport, and even though there aren't any official teams, this is still Gratton Autosport that Gratton drives for in the Pro Series, and it'd just be fitting for Gratton to win both of these races, or Matt Tuck for that matter, or Christian Master or Thomas Troxel, but you know what? We still got a long ways left to go here in this first race at Double Dega. We do have one driver's off the pace. That is Joe Rutkowski and Logan Williams. They have lost the draft, and this is something we saw in the Valvoline 400 earlier this year, and we're seeing it here at Talladega today.
I can kind of see that big group of 4 starting to get split up, and I think it's just Nicholas Samedeo's got the car today. He's been just cutting through everyone, and ooh, Drew Webb Hirschel got under him, and now that's going to put him on the outside. He's going to have to look for a move inside if he wants to. But then again, that backstretch is the real mixing pot. Anything can happen there. Turner at this point is out running, just trying to run away from Samedeo at this point, although Samedeo might let Hirschel, ooh, or he's going to let Gratton.
Oh, here we go. They're bunching back up again.
Is this going to, oh boy. I don't know if Gratton let up there, but now Stewart, dang. Now Stewart just lets Samedeo up to dry, helping out Hirschel. Man, Jesse Turner's holding this race, but yeah, no, Gratton wants it. You can tell by the way that car moves. He's going lower than his guy in front of him every single time. He wants this. And is he going to look for another move on? Hirschel, oh, he is, and Hirschel's not going to be able to block him this time.
There's a great run for Gratton so far in this race, and he's moved his way through the field very well. Samedeo as well has done an excellent job. How about Thomas Troxel up here? And how about Travis Crampton? And how about Crampton? Because he is 3rd in points, 28 behind. And Drew Webb is outside the top 10 as Troxel goes 3 wide for 3rd. They have been able to get to Turner, but they've been battling for 2nd like crazy. And I feel like as these tires wear out, these guys are going to really start to bunch up front and really start to make some moves. And here we go. Troxel has a nose to the inside. And folks, we got ourselves a lead change here at Talladega. On lap 10, it's Thomas Troxel taking it away. Remember when we were at Daytona, he got the opening race of the season there in the Daytona 125K, and now He is leading here at Talladega. So far, caution-free on this race. They've been very clean, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that these guys are splitting up in the back of the field, but they're starting to get really racy up front. And we saw some 4-wide instances on Tuesday in the Elimination Series race. They all got out of it there, but we also saw some blown engines, some fuel leaks. Who knows what we'll see here today with these guys, because they really rev these engines up, and there's a good chance someone may have an issue before the end of this thing. But now they're starting to cycle up front again. Crampton is taking the lead. Now Reggie Fogelman to the inside. Fogelman's out of contention. He'd love to get a race win. Next time by, we're going to be halfway already here in Double Dega Race 1 at Talladega.
And possibly the scariest thing for every driver is that right now Drew Webb's running 4th on the inside lane, which means he's just going to be able to patiently wait, and, you know, he doesn't have the car to be able to pull away. He definitely seems to have a car that's, you know, not as great as Jesse Turner was. That being said, Jesse Turner just got put to the outside and is now way back. It's, oh, brother.
Oh,
ooh,
Justin Zaidel in the 24 with an issue. He's got an engine failure. What a shame for the 24, and whoopsie. You didn't mean to see that. We also had the 38 with a tire issue. That is why Logan Williams was off the pace right there. So, tough break for Logan, who is still on the racetrack. I don't think he ever came back down the pit lane, but uh-oh. This is not what the field wanted to see right here. Drew Webb in the 13 taking the race lead, and that might not be the last engine failure that we see here today either. Like I said, these guys rev these engines up so much, and oh boy, Brad Stover getting up into Drew Webb there into the corner. Oh, that was tight. That was very tight, and thankfully they got out of it, but Stover, oh boy, give some heart medication there to Drew Webb after that one, my goodness.
Heart medication, you might as well just tell him that was targeting, because that was definitely a little bit, I don't want to say cutting down the tires, because I don't think Stover would do that, but that was definitely a just get the heck out of the inside lane. We don't want to see you anywhere near the front. And he is falling all the way to the 3rd lane now, so something, Stover does something, it works, Stover's out of it, so is Chase Harris.
Chase Harris, 8 points on the season, by the way.
Well, that Chick-fil-A car has been thrown around like, well, actual Chick-fil-A chicken at this point.
They've been thrown around like me at Chick-fil-A.
Oh, you got Gratton behind you.
But if Chase Harris were to win this race, he would more than triple the amount of points that he has coming into this one. But now we're really starting to see this cycle through. This is what we expected here at Talladega. These guys just cycling multiple times a lap right here. And Drew Webb went from being the race leader to falling outside the points. And that is how close of a margin it is if you're not careful. Alonso's going to be up front now. Turner has found his way back out front in the 82, and that 82 is strong. He's able to dominate the early portion of that race. And maybe he'll be able to get out front here and do the same again.
Oh, boy.
Got Tanner Parton there on Blaine Keys, Thomas Troxel, Igor Barreto, Nathan Staple on the inside, Gratton falling back, Webb's back on the inside lane. And Chase Harris, who was the race leader a lap ago, is now at the end of this pack. Just like that. Ladovic Charette, Trey Bartow are off the pace. Matt Tuck, Christian Master, Joe Rakowski, Logan Williams, and Justin Zaidel all off the pace in this race. And we got ourselves 17 drivers in the lead draft right now. So odds are we're not going to see a caution in this race. It's going to be really hard for these guys to wreck with only 17 cars in the pack. But we're going to have a great race to the end, no doubt about it. Coming to 8 laps to go here in Double Dega Race 1. There goes Stapleton to the inside of Barreto for 3rd.
And I was about to say something about Barreto, because he's close enough. Win and no top 10 for Drew Webb would certainly help him get ever so closer to that championship fight. But man, oh boy, here comes Samadeo again. Troxel and Samadeo, 2 names I do not remember saying a lot of these past couple of weeks, but they're still in the fight. They're still, right now, they're 2 and 3. Jesse Turner's just gonna have to do what he did at the beginning and hold him off, I think. I don't want to do the math right now, but he held him off. Maybe he can hold him off a couple of other laps, but it might not matter, because you see Drew Webb at 13 cars on like a shark, except for Travis Crampton. May have seen that instead. Oh, he just couldn't get under him. Again, we've seen a couple aggressive moves around Drew Webb. I think that whole 23 versus 1 and the target on his back might be attributing to that, but right now, it's Jesse Turner and Nicholas Amadeo holding it off as, oh boy, Crampton got under Webb. That's not going to help. we're just going to have to see where things cycle out at this point, because we got 6 laps to go.
And now Reggie Fogelman moving to the inside. That's for second on the 48 of Nicholas Samadio right there. And Gratton's back in this thing as well, and Drew Webb just keeps on getting shuffled out of line, but Turner once again out front has been able to pace this field. This is the kind of race that Jesse Turner would win. He's won a lot in the Pro Series at Talladega. I think he's won this race twice before. He's really good here at this racetrack. Samadio falling behind, and even more drivers about to lose the draft. Derek Hamill and Blaine Keys. And oh no! It was Chase Harris. Chase Harris just blew up there. Right, and it's going to be more of the same for the 77 team. No points again for Harris in the 77. They're going to remain in the last position in points after this first race at Talladega. Here we go. Stuart Gratton to the inside of Travis Crampton, Stapleton, and Stover on this inside lane as well. But they're all chasing Jesse Turner in the 82, going for what I believe it's going to be his 26th career win on the channel, if he can in fact pull it off here today.
I was about to say something. Uh-oh.
Oh,
don't look
traffic.
now, people. Lap traffic. And, I mean, it's interesting that Chase Harris, he blew in sort of the exact same space, or exact same place that Owen Miles did the last race on Tuesday in his elimination, but I also thought Drew Webb was about to lose the draft, but he got back up.
Oh, Stewart's going to use Williams as a pick, or at least try to do so. He had to check up there getting around the 38. Remember, tire issue on this 38 machine, but he kept it out there, ironically, so not entirely sure what was up with that 38 car, but going to hold up the outside lane with Stover, Stapleton. Drew Webb is still in the points right here. Blaine Keys has fallen out of line, but Crampton is still in this lead pack. So is Igor Bretto in the 71. They have an opportunity at getting that 13 before this race is over, but Stuart Gratton has an opportunity at winning his race. And Dylan Matthews, all of a sudden, she's up to third in the 81. Alonso is fourth, Samadio there in fifth. All these guys have a great opportunity with 4 laps to go to win this first race of Gratton Industries Double Dega. There goes Matthews to the inside looking for second.
Matthews would be quite a surprise to win this race, given that they're 72 points back. It would need Webb to be knocked out twice and them to get some points just to hold into it, so a win would actually keep them in contention.
Yeah, they'd have to win. They would have to win every single race from here on out, and for Drew Webb to not point at all. And I don't think at least one of those is going to happen. Drew Webb is still solidified in the top 10. However, a lot can happen between now and the end of this race. The thing is, the top 10 have kind of formed up and are all by themselves now, as you got Stover, who got held up by Logan Williams right there. And now they got more lap traffic to worry about. That's Joe Rutkowski in the 47. Turner once again does a great job getting around lap car. Now it's Troxel and Fogelman on the inside, trying to close in. And this time Troxel might have a run on Turner, not enough.
Ooh.
How about Jesse Turner in this race? He has just dominated this thing, and you did not see that on the unrestricted version of Talladega too often, where a guy just goes out there and leads a ton of laps. We usually see a ton of cycling, a ton of lead changes, and we have seen that in this race so far. But once Turner's gotten out there, it's taken a while for anyone to get around him, and no one has gotten around him this time around. And now there are only 2 laps to go here in this race. Reggie Fogelman, here's Jarlarvin Alonso, and don't look now. Here comes Drew Webb. He wants to seal this thing right now.
Oh, but he's going to get put out. Barretto goes low. Stapleton take him 3 wide? No, he's going to hold back.
Oh, no, he is going to make a 3
he
wide.
Holy
That's
cow.
not good for Drew because the whole line's behind him. And Drew may fall out of the points because of that. He tried to clear in front of Troxel, and there's just not enough room to do so. And here we go. White flag in the air here for Double Dega Race 1. Will Turner be able to hold him off, or will he be denied on the last lap? Alonso saying, I'm going to take this one right away from you. And here's Jarlarvin Alonso takes the race lead on the final lap. But look at who's right behind him. It's Reggie Fogelman. And you also got Stapleton. You got Gratton here on the inside lane as well. The floodgates have opened up front. Here comes Fogelman on the inside in the 7. Drew Webb is outside the top 10. Gratton closing in on the inside. Gratton's going to have a huge opportunity to win this race. He's got a huge head of steam on the inside. Will he be able to get to the inside of Fogelman going into the tri-oval? He's got a nose to the inside. And you know what? He's going to be able to win his own race. Stuart Gratton wins Gratton Industries Double Dega Race 1. That is the first time I have called Stuart Gratton to victory lane in over 7 freaking years.
And Drew Webb, 11th. Perfect.
Just outside. Just outside the top 10.
That is exactly what everyone wanted to see, but
well, I don't think everyone did it. Stuart Gratton has been on the win streak of his life the past 4.5 weeks on this channel. I tell you what, that's his 3rd win as a driver in the past month. Not only did he win the Wall Cup Series Championship as a driver and an owner, he also has gotten wins as an owner in the Truck Series. He got 1 win as an owner in the Truck Series officially. Oh my goodness. You can't make this up, can you? You can't make it up. Matt gave me the logo, and I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll call it the Gratton Industries Double Dega. Well, he's gotten the first one. He's got 1 more. I mean, he just got 1. That's a big deal for Stuart right there. And like I said, that's the first time Stuart has won one of my races in 7 years. So it's great to see that. And, you know, you had the number, Eddie. You had the number. It was 2,000 and some odd days. Was it? No.
It was 2,000 and some odd days. I forgot.
Wow.
I don't have the thing in front of me today.
Yeah, it was some 2,000 and odd days since he had last won. He got the opener in the Lenovo Pro Series at Daytona, which actually was over a month ago, by the way. I did get that wrong. And since then, he has won 3 races in the past 5 weeks. It's just all clicking for him now. That's just how it works. What a race to the finish. Jesse Turner finished 7th. I'm glad he still got some points. He was clearly the dominant guy, but they got to him right at the end. Alonso opened it up, and they passed for the lead 3 times on the final lap. That's the Talladega we all know and love. And guess what? Travis Crampton is going to love this because he is going to gain on Drew Webb. He's going to be the only one to gain on Drew Webb, but now he's within a race win worth of points on Drew Webb going into tomorrow's race. Blaine, unfortunately, will not close in on Drew. Igor is going to gain 1 point on Drew Webb. Nathan Staplin will gain a little bit as well. But Crampton is now the one who could challenge Drew Webb if he has a good finish tomorrow and then going into Atlanta. So we'll have to see if that ends up being the case for him. But my goodness, Eddie, that was fun. That was a fun race. Considering, too, we didn't have a caution. We actually had a lot of issues go on. Logan Williams with a tire issue. Chase Harris blowing up, Justin Zaidel with a valve issue, and we'll probably see more of the same tomorrow in the second race. But, wow, thoughts on this one here for the first race of Gratton Industries Double Dega.
And I think you and Andrew are going to have fun tomorrow because if this race is anything like the second, we are going to see a heck of a lot of just purely insane stuff. Hopefully people stay together. Hopefully there's no real engine or just straight up car issues, so a lot of guys can run together. But man, I mean, if you're a fan of this series, and I know you gotta be if you're listening to this, you did it. You cannot make this up. You cannot make up the leader coming 1 spot out of the points and the guy who's named for this race winning the whole thing at the very end by just 5/1000ths of a second. And plus, with all this, we now have a championship battle. We thought it might be over for a good amount of this race, and well, today proved, if anything, there's no chance of that ever happening. But yeah, I hope you guys have fun tomorrow. I really do, because
I think we'll have a lot of fun. And we'll see if Stuart gets 2 in a row, because that would be, oh boy. And look, I mean, you can't make it up. I mean, yeah, there's ratings and all. There's no ratings in this series. Everybody has the same rating. There is a range, but everyone has that same range, and you know, of course Stuart's going to win his race. Of course that's how it's going to be. But like I said, it has been a very long time since I've called Stuart Gratton to a race victory on one of my races, and it is great to see him get one as a driver on one of my things, because that has been a while. I know Caleb has done it a couple of times, but I have finally gotten the honor of doing that, and I am very happy to see him get it done here today. But we got one more tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time once again. We'll have some fun with Double Dega Race 2. More of the same here. And we'll have to see how these championship points shake out because it's going to be a little bit tighter than what Drew was hoping going into tomorrow's race. Thank you guys so much for watching. A huge thanks to Eddie Debs for calling this race with me. And we will see you guys tomorrow for Double Dega Race 2. And we'll see you guys on Saturday for the Cheer Y 200 in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Thank you so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Stuart Gratton, and I will see you guys later.